Hello, peeps. I hope you're well rested, well caffeinated, and having yourselves a good night / day. How do you do? My camera's been moved again. Huzzah. Don't want the off chance of my Amazon doohickey trying to tell people where I'm at and people trying to pinpoint where I be. But how do you do? I hope you're well. I hope you've been having a good night / day. I hope you're not anywhere near as tired as I am right now. And if you are, I hope you get a good nap soon. It has been a hell of a day. We had an interesting time today. Boy, do we have an interesting time today. It was kind of nuts. It was kind of nuts. Not gonna lie. But hello! What are you peeps up to? What have you been up to? What have you found? What have you done? What cool things have you accomplished? Tell me the ways of your world today. Today, yes. As well as I also have a high protein peanut butter vanilla coffee shake that I made that is actually quite interesting. So I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good on making sure that I have at least some caloric intake and not dying. So ha! I have a headache that is massive that I do not know where it came from, but I've had it for like the last 4 or 5 hours now. Actually have a pretty good idea of where it came from. No, going to sleep. No, going to sleep, PlayStation. I saw that. Just because it's a small thing, I can still see it. Yeah, no, it has been absolute chaos today. So I determined, you know what, we're going to do another chatting and smacking stream. It's going to have a little more emphasis on the chatting side of things. Yeah, just gotta catch up with peeps. Just be like, yo, hey, peeps, what's up? What it is, what it be, what it do, and see how everyone is. Because I've been kind of all over the place. I've been painting stuff. Lots of painting. I'm actually very pleased with this. Look at that. Look at that. So I'm gonna throw a shoe at you for what you sent me. It was glorious! Assume you've had caffeine today. I have. I've got caffeine right here. I haven't had a ton of caffeine today. But, like, contrary to popular belief, okay, yes, I am someone who drinks a lot of coffee on stream. Which, I say a lot, but I drink, like, one full, like, 10-ounce thing of coffee on stream, plus whatever creamer I add to it. I don't drink a lot of coffee or a lot of caffeine off stream. Let's just come. Thank you! This is actually a gift from Mizu, last year for White Day. I love this mug. Or was this one? No. This was White Day? No, this one was Christmas. This one was Christmas. The one for White Day was actually this one. I have lots of weird mugs. But yeah, no, I have had my caffeine. I do drink caffeine, but I don't drink a ton of caffeine throughout the day. I know everyone thinks like I am like some kind of like caffeine fiend because I'm coffee themed, but surprisingly no, I don't drink anywhere near as much as people think I do. But yeah, so how goes everybody? What it is, what it be, what it do? I am in dire need of a nap, like hardcore in need of a nap, like so hardcore enough where I might have considered a freaking nap time stream. That's how much of a nap I need today. I feel a little bad. I'm gonna be completely straightforward and honest with everybody. I did not get jack shit accomplished this weekend aside from painting some Power Ranger figures, and the entire reasoning behind that is because I need a slight break. I'm going to assume the caffeine is not helping your headache. It hasn't caused it any more issue. It's still sat about the same. Hasn't made it any better. Hasn't made it any worse. It's just kind of there. I think the headache's actually most likely sinus related. because I've been outside a lot today. So I had an interesting time today. As a lot of you peeps know, I am my grandmother's caretaker, and I had kind of a chaotic day because we had to take her to the neurologist today. Now, as a lot of you peeps have probably assumed by this point, my grandmother doesn't drive anymore. She's not driven in, like, the last few months. Like, finally just, like, stopped having the ability to drive. But she likes to keep assuming she can drive. I went to the neurologist today, and the neurologist revoked her sent in a thing to have her driver's license revoked. So she has been very mad today. Very, very mad today. Holy hell. It's been an interesting day. It's been a very interesting day. We had to have a discussion about her falls and about this, that, and the other, because as y'all know, she's moving in with my aunt in June. Which there's been some back and forth, some ups and downs with that, and some chaos with that. But the other day, she had a really rough fall right out, like the last day of stream was Saturday. She had a rough fall right after stream. Let's say right after, about 35-40 minutes after stream. I had just sat down, started painting some more figures, and if it hadn't been for the fact of how serious it was, it would have been funny. We've laughed about it since, but, well, my grandmother's laughed about it since. I have not. She took a fall and got herself stuck in a situation where she could not get out of said situation. I was very glad I hadn't gone to sleep, because if I'd gone to sleep, I wouldn't have been able to hear her. Because she fell, and she has a nightstand between, right next to her bed. She fell and somehow got herself wedged between the nightstand and the bed. And it was not good. It was not great. She's okay. Before anybody freaks out, she's okay. She's okay now. But it kind of lit a fire under a lot of my family members to expedite the helping process, because I've needed help for a long time. Well, this was so bad. This showed that, like, look, like, it's no joke. Like, she needs, like, round the clock kind of care and help. Because, yeah, had I not been here, this may have had a far worse outcome. Because the way she was stuck, I started cutting off, like, blood circulation. There were bad things happening. I had to move quickly. Damn near tossed out my shoulder again. I almost couldn't, like, because this isn't, like, some, like, standard, like, easy to move, like, nightstand. This thing's an antique. It is super heavy. It hasn't been moved in years, kind of type deal. Like, it's a beast of a thing. Shaman's seen it. He can tell you it's massive. So we almost had to call paramedics just to get her out of the situation she was in. But yeah, so that happened. I'm not sleeping very much. That has made me paranoid to sleep. So I stay up, like, almost till I know the point that they're awake. Like, they're getting up for the day, and, like, I stay up till about when they're supposed to get up for the day, and then I take them, I put them in the living room, where I know there's less things that can possibly cause them problems. Oh, so I'm running off of yet again very little sleep, so I'm going to apologize about that. I'm going to be ranting and rambling about weird shit today as we go through stuff. I'm gonna rant and ramble about stuff I've been using to keep my ass awake, because Lord, I've been using like all sorts of weird shit to keep myself awake. But how are all of you guys? What good news can you bring me today? What cool things can you tell me about this day? What cool things do we have today? Yeah. Life alert, fall detection type thing, maybe? Yes. And that's... you. First off, the fall happened in such a way that had she been wearing her life alert, she couldn't have gotten to it. Her arms were stuck and pinned against her. And she already, like, one of her arms doesn't work at all, and the other one is having diminished capacity issues. So, and the way she was stuck, she couldn't get to the damn thing. And she fell in a way that, like, had her, like, on her bad leg, so she couldn't get any kind of leverage or any kind of way to get herself up or to move or pretty much anything. Not only this, though, she wasn't even wearing her life alert. She was, like... That has been one of the biggest fights, is getting her to wear that thing. She refuses to wear it in many cases. So it makes stuff kind of chaotic. Things, but yeah, needless to say, it's been kind of nuts. It's oh, I need a nap. That's the only way to put it. I need a nap. Like that's the most honest thing I can say. Hello, dude. Hello, Anth. How you doing? And hello, guy. How are you? Hope Gma's doing okay right now. Right now, she went to bed early today because going out anywhere makes her exhausted. And especially at times she goes and sees the doctor. She got bad news today that made her really, really mad. Really upset. Caused a lot of drama, noise, and chaos. Because her neurologist told her, hey, I have to send in this thing. We have to, like, officially revoke your driver's license because you have these issues, so on and so forth. Because she got, like, her scans back, and they're like, yeah, you're not safe to drive, like, at all. Well, she hasn't driven in a hot minute, but, like, actually being told it's illegal to do so, ooh, boy. To wear her life alert, or I'm getting her a bubble. I don't think she'd be able to move at all in the bubble. Also, hello Midna, and hello Space Boy, and hello Kami. How are you? I hope you're well. Sure, was delayed a bit. Oops. It's all good. Completely understand. Like I'm trying to get YouTube's latency issue fixed, because ever since I've gone to streaming on both platforms, I have no way to fix my latency on YouTube, and I thought I'd had it figured out. Apparently, I am wrong on this. Panda, hello! How are you? Tired. I understand that. You've been doing lots of stuff. Sakura tied pieces. Should be able to make one more piece. Yeah, that's the one I'm gonna make. No, that one. I know, a lot of the older I get, the more terrifying getting old becomes. Losing motor functions and freedom sounds horrifying. We'll see. Okay, so here's the thing. here's the thing. For one, when it comes to me talking about these things, remember my grandmother's a special case. My grandmother in her late 40s had late 40s. I can't remember if it's late 40s or early 50s. Had like a severe stroke that paralyzed her completely down one side of her body. So her losing functions and different things like that are because of the strokes and the issues she's had to suffer because of that. My grandmother's kind of a weird case because, for one, my grandmother, by all doctors' accounts, shouldn't be able to do anything that she can do, period. But also, as she gets older, whereas most people would suffer a couple bits of loss here and there on certain types of things like motor skills, motor functions, so on and so forth, for my grandmother, it's exponentially larger. And that's what's been causing a lot of her issues and a lot of our chaos, has been things like that coming on. Oh dear, yeah, I know how not well that news goes with folks, telling them they can't drive anymore. Yeah. Now see, we've had peeps in the family that have lost the ability to drive due to either age or neurological issues over time, but a lot of times they take it a lot better than my grandmother did. My grandmother, we knew, wasn't going to take it well. Lord, but we were having to go through and tell the doctor about everything that had happened recently, because she's fallen 5 times in the last, like, 6 days. She did not take us telling the doctor that very well. I was disowned for a little while. Got her home, made good food, was no longer disowned, but she's still not happy with me. But yeah, no, so like, there are drastic differences between my grandmother and a lot of other people when it comes down to stuff that they can and cannot do. My grandmother's kind of a walking, like, amalgamation of shouldn't be able to and still doing it anyway. Aging doesn't scare me because I'm already disabled. I don't have much to lose. See, I kind of feel that too. I have plenty to lose still, but like, you look at life differently when you have physical disabilities. So I can completely relate to that. But yeah, needless to say, it's been a day. Amen to that. See, a lot of it to have people that people in this community that understand that. Like, I was one of the things, like, when I started doing YouTube that I thought would, like, maybe make me weird or make me seem like off or this, that, and the other, was that I have physical disabilities, and finding so many other peeps that, like, also are kind of in the same boat that I'm in has made it where I can look at life in a different perspective, because I get to look at what a lot of you guys are able to do, and I'm like, you know what? Y'all fight harder than anybody I know, so I gotta do the same damn thing. I also have a similar fear with things like dementia and other neural issues that are similar. I expect that if it happens, it happens. I accept that if it happens, it happens, but I don't like thinking about it. That I understand. I understand that there are plenty of neurological issues that run in my family, so I do have plenty to worry about on that end. And that does make me worry. And I know if I have the mentality I do now, that I will be able to resign myself to such things, but I do know that that's not how that works. And I can only imagine the fears and things that come with it. My patience to help my brother has been challenged over and over again. I understand that. That's true. I read that part. There are lots of times where my brother wanted to check out because he believes he will never get back to normal. I also understand that. I do. I understand where that thought process comes from and where they're coming from on it. Lord, I understand that. But you have to keep fighting. Space Boys entered the lobby. Awesome. But no, it's been dealing with a lot of chaos on that end. Take her off the donor list when you get her the non-driver ID. Now, see, my grandmother is a if I remember correctly, my grandmother is an organ donor. Like, because we've had discussions about that, because she's talked about doing that. She's got the same mindset I do. That if I die, instead of like being cremated or buried, I want my body donated to science. My grandmother's talked about like having her brain donated to science. Let's appearance stuff. This is what I want to change. Actual gear back. Because I need to upgrade that armor before I start using it. As it goes on walks, getting a little stronger each day. He was over 400 pounds when he had the stroke. He lost 65 pounds fighting to get back to normal. Well, fuck yeah. I had to be real clear about the driving thing with my dad. That was a fun conversation to have with a car guy. And see, my grandmother's a car person. My grandmother helped my grandfather rebuild I need to double check the year. I need to make sure that I've got the right year on it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, my grandmother helped my grandfather rebuild this, and also still owns this. A 1965. I always get it confused as a 1965 or a or later model Mustang, and she loves that car to death. And that car, and she still claims she can drive that car. I know for a fact she can't drive that car right now, because no one can drive that car right now because it's got a blown fucking head gasket. And the tires have gone bad on it because it hasn't been driven in so long. It needs repairs. But like, just the pure audacity of being told she can't drive that made her livid. Absolutely. And we've had to have these conversations over and over because of things that keep like going wrong. Like right around Thanksgiving, right around the time that it was well, one thing, it was October. It was like right before we moved in here. My grandmother got in the car, had an accident. She had one point earlier this year, she went on a drive and left, and no one could find her. We had no idea where she went. We had no idea what she was doing. She just kind of like disappeared off grid, and when she got back, she couldn't tell anybody where she'd been. She couldn't remember where she'd gone or what she'd done or this, that, and the other. And only because she wound up seeing somebody that she knew saw her was the only reason why we had any idea what happened. It was horrifying. Like control. I mean, he does kind of like have like he's got like the demon mask kind of thing going on right now. So like, I guess I can see that. Also kind of looks like Waluigi, like if I were to like turn it all purple. Just go. To get my license to drive, but I'm sure work would end up adding delivery to my list of already long list of chores. I would tell them no, because that wasn't what I was hired to do. Not unless they're going to pay me a lot extra and cover my gas. Let's see. We need to go and do a mission to get the last tickets we need. Oh! First one of the night always freezes the thing. I don't get why it does that first one of the night, because afterward it's always fine. But first time after a reset, it loses its shit. But thank you for smacking the bot. But yeah, a lot of things about Grandmother you